and welcome back to me and Apex, but well, me and every single legend in Apex. That's right, we are going to be going through every single legend in Apex and doing a tier list, describing to you and telling you which guys are the best legends to play and which guys are the not so good legends to play, and of course, which ones are the most fun. But I did say we, so today with me, I will have my man Jaro. He is a pro player from the OC region and he is cracked out of his mind. So sit back, guys, and enjoy.
In months, y'all. I so red I can't see what's real. Roll me up a blunt.
Alright, so first legend, Bang. What do you reckon about Bang? Where do you reckon Bang should sit on the tier list?
So, Bang used to be like pretty much S tier.
Yeah,
like,
back when
in the day.
like season 1 or pre-season when she had like the extra double time speed, she was insane. Yeah.
And now you've got Bloodhound, Crypto, and then now
Seer as well. Yep.
And now you have like just characters that like there's too many characters that are too good that hard counter Bang. So like she's progressively being kind of kicked down. Especially like Digi threats are still like really easy to grab as well. So like
but you gotta remember, Digi threats do work for her as well though.
They work for her.
Yeah, because she can like smoke off areas, smoke off enemies and push with them. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So she's still good. I know ult is good, but
how old is like doesn't her ult stun for like 8 seconds or something? It's insane. People underrate her ult so much.
It's 6 or 8 seconds.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's a long fucking time.
Her ult is actually really good. Like, her smokes are like
it's so
really
good to disengage, so good to like block off an area, etc.
Oh yeah. Because like if you think about it, it's like the time that you see a Bengal ult coming towards you, you can't use that whole space until like it starts blowing up. Even though like you can be in like where the bombs are, but like no one's ever gonna stand in the bombs for any length of time.
Yeah, exactly, 100%.
They've changed how they blow up now. So
yeah, because they blow up faster, 2 seconds.
The whole time that it's coming down to like when it's blowing up, it's like, how long is it?
I think it's 4 seconds.
Like,
it used to be 6 and they changed it to 4, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I mean from like start to finish, like when the bombs start going down to when they like...
Oh, I have no idea. It's a long time though, it takes a while, yeah, legit.
It's definitely longer than a Gibby ult.
Yeah, for sure, definitely longer than a Gibby ult. Well, where do you think she's ranked?
Personally, B.
B? Yeah, that's where I would have put her as well. I vibe that. I feel she's
fun
B.
to play.
She's so fun to play. Bloodhound, the Bloodhunter. Where do you think they rank?
I hate Bloodhound.
So do I. I hate him so much. He's insane.
Recently though, I think that Bloodhound's probably sitting more in like a B or a C tier, but simply because I just have a bit of a bias against Bloodhound, I put him in C.
Really? In C? I was going to at least put him in B. Why C? You don't think he's...
Well, now with Seer being out, like...
True, with Seer being out, he gets nerfed quite a lot just by Seer being better.
Bloodhound's still good though, like
because you get the extra movement when you're in your ult as well.
Extra movement, and the scan is like, it's a big fat cone that you can scan all 3 players on guaranteed for like 3 seconds, whereas Seer is like, you're likely to get 1 person.
Yeah, that's very true. So. Yeah, very, very true.
Yeah,
Do you even see?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put them in B though. I reckon they're definitely B tier still. Alright. Caustic, he got a buff this update. I think his gas damage got increased a little bit.
Yep.
Where do you think he
sits? Plus 1 damage every second tick.
Okay. So it's not the biggest change to him. Is his gas scary, do you reckon, or is it still kind of air?
Oh, they also decreased the cooldown on his barrels, so now he has 20-second barrel cooldown instead of 25. Yeah.
Well, that's actually really big. That's really big for Caustic.
Yeah, that is a big change.
Like his ability to reset and block doors and just reset around himself is huge now. But is his gas scary though? It's not that scary, really, is it? I mean, situational, I guess.
I think that he is like still a really strong character. Like competitively, he's definitely like A tier. Like the utility of Crypto, like Seer kind of only matches him in that like you can see what's around you. That's like the smaller part of where Seer matches, but Crypto's strength is like it's not outweighed. So I'd still put him in A.
I just do want to state that when it's not competitive wise or even ranked wise, he's
he's
terrible, absolutely awful to play. So you have to rely on your teammates, and teammates in games are absolutely terrible. Yup, 100%.
So shit.
Alright, we'll chuck him in A though. Alright, so Fuse actually got a huge buff. I mean, he's still, in my opinion, pretty bad because he's Fuse. But, so his knuckle clusters got doubled. They got doubled in damage and doubled in length, which I don't know exactly how much damage that is, but it's a hell of a lot. Yeah, so his length got doubled and the damage of a knuckle cluster got doubled. Oh. Yep. And now if someone's inside his ult as well, they get your whole team gets vision of them, which is pretty, pretty niche, but it's something. Yeah. So what do you think?
So I unfortunately, I think the same as you, right? Like it's Fuse. So I just think he's F tier.
Yeah, 100%. It's fucking Fuse.
But realistically, on paper, his
Like-
his ability to carry 2 nades, his knuckle cluster actually
His knuckle
doing
cluster
damage
is
and-
really good. Like the ability to push people out of positions with it, the people to like, you know,
Yeah.
you can even use it just to break doors, break jump pads. You get 2 charges of them. You can stick people with them.
Apparently, it breaks the horizon ult as well.
Yeah, it breaks the horizon ult. Yeah, it breaks absolutely everything that's placeable. Basically, it's really good.
Yeah. So like, there's definitely going to be a lot more utility coming from Fuse, but at the same time, it's like it's very much utility based. So you'd stack him with nades, you'd stack him with an ult excel, and you'd be having to really know how to use your knuckle clusters. Like he'd be ability based to like make him useful. Whereas like a character like Gibby, you just use his gun shield and you shoot a bunch, and then you end up using a bubble every now and then.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's going to be very ability heavy in like fights and zoning.
So where would you rate him though? He's probably in the lower end for myself.
I'm going to put him in C just because I'm not sure yet.
Okay,
I think
like
there's
that.
potential for him.
He definitely has good potential. I guess the issue with him is though that like he doesn't offer anything largely to the team apart from his peak damage and his extra carry nades.
Yeah. So
Like his ult's like,
competitively,
don't get me
who
wrong,
replaces
his
him? I don't
ult's
know.
okay. I mean, it's very good to like create distance between you and a team, cover space and the kind of stuff. It's not the best to use aggressively. It's good for third partying, I guess. I don't know. What do you think of his ult? Do you reckon it's good or not?
His ult, I like to think that it should be good, but I just don't feel like.
No, I feel like the same. Like
is.
it's a big radius. It does a lot of damage. It slows as well.
and
It
you can
should
shoot
be
it from
good,
so far away as well.
but it's just not good though. I don't know why, but it's just not.
yeah,
Legit.
it's a weird one.
All right, Gibby. I think we're definitely gonna both agree on this one. Straight
this
S tier.
This dude. So this Chongus man has been dominating the meta since he was buffed in season 3.
Yep,
And then he
legit.
was
Since
nerfed
then,
again later on. So he had like a really big buff in season 3 where his bubble lasted 18 seconds. His
I
gun
used to
shield
have
was
fast res
75.
inside there as well.
Yep.
Fast heal
Like-
as well, wasn't
So
it? As
fast
well?
heal, yeah.
Yeah,
This
fast
was
heal.
fast
So
res,
yeah,
it's
just
the
fast heal. Yeah, yep.
Oh, it was very messy. And his bombardment lasted, I think, 3 seconds longer.
And
than
it had a
most
shorter
currently.
cooldown as well. Yeah.
Yep.
It was actually
he was a
insane.
mess. But currently he's in a spot at the moment where it'd be hard to nerf or buff him. So
Because if you buffed him,
how
you
would
make
you
him
nerf
too
him or how
strong.
would
You
you buff
nerf him, you can't do anything. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So he's unfortunately, I still think that like he's a necessary evil when it comes to like the game because
Higher tier play.
Like-
Yeah, for sure.
a character that has an infinite shield, like an indestructible cover, is going to be almost meta no matter what. Because
Then
no
you
matter
chuck
what happens,
You've always got
just press a
cover.
button.
And then
Exactly.
on top of that, you've got his faster res inside it. You've got his ability to create space, cover yourself, be aggressive or defensive with his ult. The ability to indefinitely peek people as long as you let your arm shield recharge.
Exactly, yeah. So for me, I still think that Gibby will be S tier unless something drastic happens to the way his bubble works.
Yeah,
So
I
unless
agree.
that happens, then he'll be S tier for me.
For sure, for sure. At Horizon. So Horizon, she's never really been a big competitive legend, and probably never will be, but she used to get a lot of ranked play before her nerf. Like a lot. Do
She's
you
competitively
think...
played in APAC North quite a bit.
Oh, really? Okay, my bad.
Yeah,
Okay,
T1, CR, bunch of Fennel, Career, and Flora, I think. Like a bunch
Oh, that's
of
really
big
cool. I didn't know
North
that.
ran
So the changes she got was, so her ult got a small nerf. After the initial suck, it sucks
Love that we all
slower now.
know just to get out of exactly the
But
same time.
and her Q when she goes, oh, I'm crypto.
I got this boy.
Does that take her back to being in a better spot, or is it
yes,
just kind of like not too much of a change?
honestly, when Horizon was nerfed, Horizon never really was bad when she was nerfed either.
I
Like,
agree.
the main
I
strength-
generally don't think she needed another buff too much myself.
She was just busted. Like, she needed a nerf because she was just actually busted.
Yeah,
with
100%.
how her lift worked. But now that you can't sit at the top of it indefinitely and strafe at the speed
Yeah, it's
of
only
light,
2 seconds at the top now.
Yeah. And like the buff made her feel less clunky. So it makes her feel better. And I think that it's fine, the buff, but Horizon's always been good. Like, I think Horizon's definitely an A tier character just because like you can get your full team to high ground with
Yeah, she's good for
graduate.
rotating on it. She can get out of sticky situations with it. And you can't forget, she has possibly one of the best passives in the game as well.
Yeah, her passive is nuts.
It's actually
It's really
insane.
underrated.
Yeah, legit. So I
I would
definitely
put her
agree
as
A tier for
for
sure,
sure.
100%. All right, so the OG legend, the legend we all start out on, possibly one of the most fun legends at the start of the game, Lifeline. What do you think about Lifeline? She's an interesting legend. 'Cause I feel
Yeah.
like she should be rated higher than where we're probably going to put her. And I guess,
Yeah, You're on the right track. I think that I'm comfortably going to put Lifeline in D tier.
Like, yeah, I was
But
thinking C
she
tier as
should
well,
be
but she
better
should
than
be
that.
better. Like, in theory, you know, she can tap those 2 people. She's got infinite heals. She can get you armor, guns, meds. She can get you all that kind of stuff. But she just isn't good. It's weird.
Yeah.
She isn't good for like the way the game's played, I guess. She doesn't add enough to your team, like rotational base and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think that one of the main strengths of Lifeline at the moment is there's a lot of selfish strength in how she can, her hill drone has been buffed like pretty
It's
massively.
so fast. Yeah, it got a 60% speed buff on
Yeah.
healing in the last
So
patch.
selfishly, she's really good. Like if she's sitting behind a door, she pops a health drone, and she pops a cell. Like she's got a lot of HP back
Yeah,
before
no,
anyone can
100%.
kick or break the door down.
For sure.
But I mean, now you have like Rampage, right? It's like if someone has a thermited Rampage, and they're just shooting
That
a
thing
door
shoots
down.
so fast. It's actually crazy.
That's one of her strengths just gone. Is like playing around doors. So I don't know. I feel like that combatively she's only good because of a small hitbox, but other than that, she's like, I think it's because a lot of the legends that are coming out now are so ability based, like the way that the legends are going currently, like
the way
how
Apex
the
is going in
abilities are
general,
working.
it's all going to ability
She was
based
really
rather
good
than
in a-
gunplay.
she was really good in a gunplay based.
But now that all the
uh,
abilities are here, she doesn't suit it so well.
Yeah, that's what I think.
No,
that's
that's
what I think is,
definitely
like,
that.
missing.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So in like old meta where like gunplay positioning and just like raw fighting
Skill,
was
raw
like
force.
what
Yeah,
mattered.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Whereas now like comboing abilities and like wall hacks and all that other stuff, like now that's part of like a big part
She
of the
just
game with
falls
all
off
the
a lot.
legends. Yeah, I feel like it's just not, the strengths are like nearly not as noticed. So unfortunately D tier.
No, I
Yeah,
agree with that
that's
completely.
where I'd
Yeah,
settle.
100%. It's kind of weird we're putting her below Fuse, but yeah, I do agree. Alright, Loba. Loba's actually really interesting. I know a few teams have tried to play her in competitive recently, and in theory and in, I guess, a practice that has happened, if you get her really late into game, she is super strong. Super strong. It's just a matter of getting her there. What do you think
So,
of Loba?
Firebeavers placed second in the EU Championship Finals
Yep.
for the Elder Season 1. And they were running Loba, Valk, Gibby. So they actually replaced Wraith with Loba.
That's
so-
interesting, because you lose a lot of rotation with her portal and stuff.
Yeah.
But you do
then
get infinite loot, and you can see
They
what it
rely
is.
on Valkyrie for their rotation.
Exactly,
and
true.
They don't need Wraith Portal to go and get loot from boxes.
Because they have
just
Loba to
fight the
steal
up
it
hill.
all. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one of the strengths of Wraith is being able to get loot for free from a position that you've been holding and you're running out of sustain. But with
Loba does that better anyway.
yeah, I think one of the biggest problems was that combatively she was just like useless with how her Q worked. You never really use her Q, but now you can actually.
Yeah, Q's insane
Her-
now. It's super
Her
good.
Q's really good. They
I mean, you
buffed
can't
in a
really throw it far,
sweet
but the way
spot.
it works coming in and out of it, it's insane.
Yeah, well, the thing is that you can
mm,
use it like a Wraith Q.
Yeah,
You can
no,
be
exactly.
behind because like you can't really queue in front of somebody's face anymore as a Wraith. Otherwise, you just get chunked and then they follow you, and then like you're out of the fight for like the same amount of time you'd be when you're Loba queuing. But
Yeah,
you just,
100%.
your Loba queue, you just drop it down. You can still slide and jump around and stuff. So she feels better to play. Her ults, the buff that they've made to her ult, and getting infinite ammo from it.
Oh, the infinite ammo thing was so nice. It was needed for sure.
It's just fun to play in ranked and pubs as well.
Yeah, she's just fun in general, 100%.
I think A for sure.
A?
don't
Really?
think
You put it
S-
A? Okay. I
I'd
was thinking
put
more
her
B,
in
but A? Alright, we'll put her in A then.
I'll
Hey,
put her in A.
Mirage. I love Mirage. I might not like his personality too much, but I love Mirage. I love the way he works. I love
Oh,
playing
you
him.
don't
It's
like
so
his
fun to
personality?
bamboozle people. But where would you put him though?
Honestly, have you seen how his ult interacts with Sear's ult now?
Yeah, I saw a
of
clip
his
on Twitter
decoys
actually
come up.
earlier. All his decoys come up, they do. And he gets his
Mhm.
ult every minute. He's got one of the fastest charging ults in the game.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think Mirage might be like a counter to Fuse's a counter to Sear's ult. Because like, how else would you counter an ult that you can
Have
you can see
constant
through
vision
walls
with. Yeah, exactly.
for like however long, right? It lasts for ages, and like if you just pop a Mirage ult, they're not going to start shooting all your Mirage ultis, but it's going to ruin the effectiveness of Sear's ult.
No, you're 100% right on that. I guess, but the issue is though, if you're like looking at the high level play, what do you drop out to have a Mirage in your team? And what else does he offer to your team apart from the occasional bamboozle to find people and I guess what invis
Well,
res?
Invis res, yeah,
It's
I mean,
kind of
not
let's be
really.
real. Yeah.
Invis res is definitely air. It's more that his ability in just countering other abilities. So like you can definitely counter wall hack abilities with his.
I guess
ult,
yeah, just
and
his
ult
like
comes back so quickly.
his ability just to counteract like any ability that's thrown on you in general, any fight just to cause commotion in there and just distract people and give your team the advantage. Take position, heal up if they need. Yeah, it's just things like that. Move other people out of position.
I think in terms of like his ability kit, that all of the strength in his ult comes from like maybe counteracting the strength of other ults. So I there's no way that he's like in a spot yet where you can put him at anything other than I think D.
D, that's what I was gonna say. Good.
Yeah, he's not completely useless. Like I'm sure we'll get to some legends that are completely useless in a little bit, but he's not completely useless. But he's still not like there.
No, I agree completely.
Ability kit.
All right, Octane. It's very interesting. I don't know if you're gonna put him in S and A, but I'm gonna figure you're gonna put him at one of those.
Yeah, so Octane is nuts.
Especially since tap strafing's been like figured out and everyone uses it now.
Yeah,
It made him like instantly like a 20% better legend, and he was already insane. He was already like basically S tier in my opinion. Then, before then, so we still were just gonna put him in S tier. Well, you
his
put him in
passive
A.
heal is nuts. His speed tier is nuts. His jump pad nuts. Yeah, he'd be an S tier.
There's nothing else. Yeah, 100%.
You wouldn't stick him in it. Like you could run an Octane so easily on any map, and you can run him with so many different comps as well. Yeah.
Yeah, legit.
He's got to be.
I guess the only time you really wouldn't have him in your comp is I guess the occasional team that will play Wraith, or maybe if you have a Valk, you might not run him. But otherwise, basically everyone's gonna run him.
Yeah.
Pathfinder, probably the most fun, one of the most funnest legends in the game. The OG legend. Sadly, he's built like a fridge though, and his grapples cooldown's kind of shitty. What do you think?
Killed him. They've killed him.
They've actually killed him. The poor man.
He's still so like there is no legend that is more satisfying to play than hitting like a fat.
Oh, you hit the fat grapple. Yeah, it's so good.
Oh, it's amazing. But at the same time, as soon as you land in front of someone, they're shooting a Gibby without a gun shield. So it's just,
legit.
You just fall over. In terms of fights, he's got a lot of like strength in his zip and his grappling to be able to reposition in fights very quickly. But
100%.
I mean, you could do the same thing with an Octane jump pad, and you can do the same thing, kind of the same thing with a Lobacue, and you can do the same thing with a Horizon.
Yeah, definitely.
Getting high ground and stuff. So there's other characters that kind of take away the uniqueness of him, and so then you have a character that's kind of unique in his grapple that isn't that strong anymore. That he's a pain in the ass to fight on. So he's got a special place, but in terms of like playing him in the legend meta now, I think he might be just C tier, honestly.
Yeah, he's fallen down so much. It's actually crazy.
In arenas though, he's
yeah, I guess you got to talk in arenas. He's insane in arenas. He's super good for it. Yeah, his ability just to get the.
Really be considering that, to be honest. Like,
yeah, we should be considering arenas. I mean, his ability to zip line off spawn to get your height and then to move and take advantage of like actual damage you put on people like during arenas is insane. He's absolutely nuts for it. So we're gonna put him in C tier though, or I can B tier. I can use B tier.
Overall B because of his strength in arena.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. All right, Rampart. Rampart's interesting.
Here we go.
Rampart's. If you first look at it, you go Apex and Rampart. You can put her in F, but in certain comps, in certain playstyles, in certain ways, like in ranked, you see a lot of really good players. They play her when there are cheaters in the game to try and kill cheaters because it gives you the ability to actually shoot back at cheaters, for example.
Yeah.
Is she in any way, shape, or form viable?
No.
Fair enough. Why's that going? Why's that?
It's a simple answer. Only one team ever tried a Rampart, and that was underrated with K20, Horizon, and Dazo.
Okay.
They tried out. Horizon's the player. They tried out Rampart, but it doesn't work. The amount of natural cover that you have in Apex,
it's a lot. There's a lot of it in general.
The walls like don't really.
And plus, the walls like when you place them, they're so easy to shoot out before they actually get like full cover.
Yeah, so in the heat like action fighting moment, like you're not going to get the walls down. Like pre-setup, like you don't.
Her ult's useless as
Rampart
well.
walls pre-setup. Like you
have
100%.
to
look through one specific part of the map. Her only strength of walls, I feel like, are playing around buildings. Where if you like run
block
into
doors
a,
and stuff as
a
well.
door, you can block a door with
for sure. But you can do that with caustic gas at the same time. So it's like
exactly. So why would you just play Caustic who has increased damage reduction?
Better. Yeah.
And like you can't really fight around his doors. I would put Rampart in E tier because her passive's useless and her ult is pretty much. I've never found any part of using her ult I don't think I've ever used.
It's satisfying as hell to get a kill with the ult, but it's absolutely useless. Like just straight up.
How often would you think that you'd actually use it and then get a kill with it?
Yeah, literally never.
Almost never.
Exactly.
So like, I don't know what needs to change, but Rampart's hopeless.
I just don't think she's
It's
suited to
funny.
Apex at all. I think that's the issue. She's just not a legend that's suited to Apex
Probably
in the way
not.
it's played. Yeah.
I agree with you there. Yeah.
Alright, so possibly
what, E2?
Yeah, E2, 100% E2. Yeah. Alright, so in my opinion, my most hated legend in Apex, I fucking hate this guy beyond belief, Revenant. He's literally the bane of my existence.
Yeah.
So the interesting thing with him though, like he is really strong, but a big part of his strength comes from the legends he's paired with.
Yes.
You know, pairing him with, say, the Octane to do the Reptane, because his ability to get into a fight once altered is what's so strong about him. So how do you rate him as a legend though? I guess without you know a Octane on his team.
Yeah, without his synergy, I guess. How would he go standalone?
Yeah, exactly.
So recently they've buffed his climbing to be like better, which is actually like it's
situationally really strong. It's a big change to his climbing. I mean, it's still not the biggest thing because it's just climbing, but it was a big change to that.
There is
aspect
outplay
of him.
potential in it, but it's a minor thing that just makes it more fun to play.
Yeah.
In terms of strength, the main reason why he's so strong is yes, his ult is like really powerful. Because when you feel the power of his ult when you're obviously getting sent on by an Octane.
Yeah,
but
100%.
his ult comes back really slowly. The main counter to his ult used to be hammer point. So
Yeah,
the
because
fact
you
that
still
hammer
have to
point's now
destroy them with
gone-
it.
Oh yeah, if you saw like 3 Revenants flying at you,
You just like
on
2
a
tap,
jump
3
pad,
tap them all with a P20 and they're just gone. Yeah.
You only need one person on a team to have hammer points, and that whole push is just dead.
Oh, yeah,
And then
100%.
his ult is useless. So even with Octane, his ult would be useless with hammer point. But without Octane and just standalone, his ult, when it's in the hands of a good player and you have utility, it's that you can spam nades and his silence to like instigate a really easy push. And
Yeah, because you can
do
just
that risk
Reptane
free.
in and you can just all target one person, bang, the fight's a 2v3 when you're all sent back, and you just jump back in and kill everybody.
But his main strength, in my opinion, is the silence.
The silence
I
is
think
insane.
that-
It's like a 10-second silence now, I think, off the top of my head.
15.
15 second. And
Yeah.
on top of that, you also get like the blind from it as well. It takes up so much of your screen. It's
It
ridiculous.
used to be 20 seconds silence.
Did it really used to be 20 seconds?
It
Holy
used to
shit.
be 20 seconds. Yep. It used to stay on the ground for 10 seconds, and if you touched it, you would be silenced for 20. But now it's silenced for 15 seconds.
That's actually ridiculous. Holy shit.
It's crazy when you think about it. Yeah, it's pretty bad. And obviously, the main point of Apex is like it's supposed to be a gunplay game with like touching it with abilities. So once you start taking out abilities, you start to really see characters become vulnerable.
Yeah,
without
100%.
Their strength, especially Gibby.
Oh,
You
for
can
sure,
silence
without
Gibby before it
giving.
gets a bubble down, silence a Wraith while they're portaling, like
Yeah,
anything.
100%.
It's just he's strong, but he's also similar to Path in like he's a bit of a fridge.
Yeah, he's a
But
big
he's a lot.
hitbox.
He's a lot better at Path in just fighting.
Oh,
of how his
100%.
silences work. So I'd put him in. I put him in C. I
See?
think he's
With
definitely
Fusey
a
Boy?
C character.
I like it.
Yeah.
But I think the second he has like an Octane on his team and a good team around that, like a good, well-coordinated team, he's
he's
instantly like an
B1,
A tier. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
But
The
without
new...
the synergy standalone, yeah, probably C.
So interesting one. Sia. We haven't seen too much of him. There hasn't been really any like high tier gameplay played much with him yet. But in my opinion, he seems ridiculously strong right now and has a nerf coming soon.
Yeah, he's. I don't know what they kind of just like threw as many different like abilities and ideas that they possibly could.
And
into
just
one
chuck
guy.
them all onto his one tactical.
Yeah.
His one
They've
tactical
got-
does so many things. Wait, it stuns, it has a flashbang, it interrupts heals, it interrupts resin, it does damage.
It
It's
reveals.
75 meters, it reveals. You know his little radar thing, by the way, when you scope in? You know you can
Yeah.
see people 300 meters away with it?
Wait, you can?
It gives you hints on it.
I
So,
thought it was-
so within 75 minutes, it'll show you exactly where they are if they're moving. But if they're within 300 meters, it gives you hints of where people are.
What?
Yeah, legit. It's insane.
That's whack.
It's actually nuts.
What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
All right, well that's crazy. Yeah, his concept is far more healthy than Bloodhound's though. I like the concept that they tried to go with him.
They
Even though
just
I
chucked too much on him.
they've just chucked too much on him. I personally, I'll never like a game where abilities are like dominant.
I
I'll
agree.
never
I don't like ability legends. It's more, I like the
especially
gun
wall
gameplay.
hacks. Especially wall
Yeah, because
hacks.
it takes away so much of like the player skill involved in the game itself.
The game sense, the situational awareness,
Yeah, exactly.
the use in communication. I hate the idea of pressing a button and having the game play for you. I'll always dislike that as a competitor, but at least with Seer, they've tried to make it so that instead of being like a Bloodhound blanket, give you everything you need to know, with Seer, it's a targeted Q that is most likely going to hit at least one person. I think at the moment, the cone or the radius of it is way too big.
Yeah,
it should be far more restricted so that it's more of like a skill gap Q, and it should activate slower.
100%, I agree with
If
that.
it
So you
activates
get
a
more
little
time
bit
to
slower
get out
and
of
it's a little
it.
bit tighter.
Yep.
Then it will become a bit of like a really strong Q that has some counterplay to it. At the moment,
And then it's
like
actually a skill
counterplay that
shot to
they said-
shoot as well, where right now it's really not.
That's what they said it was going to be.
Yeah, they
like,
said
but-
it was going to be really small and hard to hit, and then this huge thing came out, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
what the hell?
Yeah, I think that they probably released it overtuned, so they could probably tune it back to.
That makes sense. I
where
mean,
it should
that's a
be.
normal thing to do, to release a legend OP
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that everyone, falls in love
You'd
with it
hate him
and
for
plays a
you'd
lot.
hate for him to be terrible
Yeah, exactly.
and then have to buff him.
Yeah,
Because then he'd be
100%.
annoying. So at least he's annoying, and now they'll probably pull him back in line, which is I think will be good.
What about
But,
his ult, though? Do you reckon his ult's a bit too strong? You place that thing down, and for like a solid 30 seconds to a minute, you have full vision of where everyone inside it is.
Honestly, I like his ult.
You do?
I actually like it. Yeah, I find that his ult is the only problem that I have with his ult is that its cooldown is too short and it lasts for too long. But the
Yeah, I
way
agree
the
with
ult
that.
works, I like.
So what if it lasted a shorter
I-
time, like 15 seconds or so? Do you reckon that'd be better? Because then you have to then you'd have to use it more, at the correct time, at the right time.
I think it should last as long as the Caustic ult, which is now 15 seconds.
Okay, yeah.
So I think that if his ult lasted the same length as a Caustic ult, that's like a good. If a Caustic ults, then you use his ult, then you have like visibility through gas and stuff while you're fighting a Caustic team for the duration of that gas, pretty much. Whereas like you'll have it before, during, and after, even with barrels down and even with an ult down. Like it makes it really hard for Caustics to play against that because one, strength of gas is blocking vision. So
No, 100%, yeah.
dialing it in to kind of make it a bit more of a character that can play around Caustic a little bit better would be good. But
Yeah.
I like the way it works. I like that it doesn't show up people who are crouch walking.
Does it
I don't
not?
think
Oh, I
shows
thought
up-
it did.
No, so if you crouch walk, it doesn't.
Oh, so,
show you.
so does it only show you if you're like actually moving properly?
It shows you if you're like strafe speeding with a gun. If you're
Okay.
shooting, I don't know if it shows you if you're healing either. I gotta
Oh,
double
I
check
think
that.
it might. I think it might. So it doesn't show you if you're crouch walking though, or just crouched in general
No.
and not moving. Okay, I didn't know
Yeah.
that. I thought it gave you full vision no matter what. Okay, that's a bit better. I didn't know
yeah.
that
So-
aspect of it.
Yeah, so if you see a Seer ult go down, if you crouch and start moving around,
They'll have
then
no idea.
they're gonna
and
look
you
around
can
and
catch
think,
them
"Oh,
up.
this guy's not
Yeah.
here." Bang, you just pop out and there you are. Like,
Okay,
there's
that's
a bit
nice.
of counterplay to his ult.
There
in
is a
that
bit of
way. I
counterplay
like
to it.
that.
I like that. I love there being counterplay to other people's abilities. That's so good.
And the way his ult works is that it's just the triangle in the center of mass and then the feet. I like that. I like that it's not like the full character model. I like that it's not. I can't understand why in the world they'd give health bar to his tactical
Yeah, it's
and make
weird.
his ult
Yeah,
make
yeah.
more sense. Like his ult is more balanced than his tactical.
Yeah,
His
100%.
tactical is just
It's
broken.
insane.
Yeah, so honestly, at the moment, he's an A tier. I'm not sure yet if he's going to be S tier.
But he has the
considering
potential
that
to be.
He has the potential to be because the ability to interrupt healing and abilities and
Oh,
reses
and it's huge.
makes Gibby like almost useless.
Yeah, because you Gibby bubble down and that just hits you. It's just, yeah.
You Gibby bubble, they wait till the last second when you're about to pop a bat. They cancel your heal. You can't do anything because the actual CS tactical is bigger than the bubble.
Is it actually
So-
bigger than the bubble? Oh my god.
Yeah. It's either as big or bigger than the
That's
bubble
crazy.
itself. So
That's actually
you
crazy.
can't be anywhere in the bubble that Seer's tactical won't hit you. So if you're trying to pop a bat in the bubble, you're never going to get a bat off if Seer has his tactical up. So he's actually going to be a counter to Gibby, which I think is healthy.
Yeah,
but-
yeah, Gibby definitely needed the counter for sure.
But until he's played more, I won't know if he's S tier or not. So I'm gonna put him in A tier.
No, I agree. That's good. Valk. I think Valk's another interesting one because she definitely has a spot in the game at a higher
Oh,
tier
yeah.
level. Definitely does. So where would you put her?
Even
exactly?
casually, she's fun.
Oh,
jetpacking around and shit.
she's so fun to play casually. There's so
Yeah.
much outplay you can do with the jetpacks. It's actually so good. Where
I
would
put her
you
in
rank
S
her?
tier.
though? S tier? You reckon she's S tier?
Yeah, I think that the one thing that Apex, especially competitively, the one thing that she offers is that there's never a bad zone. So there are times in Apex where teams will pick a drop spot in the center of the map because the more central their drop spot is in the center of the map, the less likely they are to get a quote unquote bad zone.
Yeah, I agree with
So a
that.
team who lands Skyhook, who then needs to rotate to Dome, Dome's a bad
That's a bad zone for
Skyhook
them.
team.
Yeah, it's just for them though.
Yeah. But with Valkyrie,
You can
there's no
rotate
such
it so
thing as a bad
fast.
zone. Yeah, because I think Valkyrie's ult can take you over any mountain on World's Edge and over the top of any structure. So there's nothing.
Because
that
it
you
is
can't
much,
get over.
much higher than a balloon.
Yeah, yeah. So we had a lot of issues rotating from Skyhook without Valkyrie while we were playing with Bloodhound, because if we had a launch site zone, we'd have to go through the most difficult choke points, and we're most likely just not going to win the game or have a chance to get into endgame. Because
No, yeah,
we can't get through
because
the
it'd
rest of
take
the
you
lobby.
so long rotating through, and you got to get past everybody.
Yep.
For sure.
So with Valkyrie, there's no such thing as bad zone, which is competitively for Apex means that there's almost always a chance where you could win a game, which wasn't really the case before. If you, like I said, if you were Skyhook going towards Dome or towards launch site, there was a good chance that you have like no shot at winning the game. You just have to get the most amount of points.
And Valk changes that exactly.
Valk changes that, and that's why I think that she's
I like that. Alright, so this is now my legend, alright, so don't go too harsh on her. What do you think about Watson?
Do they buff her this season? I don't remember.
No, not really. They made a small change that when you placed fences, a little blue light will show up on the round where you placed the fence in the sky, and they got rid of that. I think it was a bug anyway. That's all they changed.
That was it?
That was it, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I don't
not
know.
looking great.
I feel bad for you, man. The next legend that comes out, I'm going to main her.
Yeah, it was Watson.
You
It's
get
not looking
landed
good.
with-
I mean, hey, every
I mean-
30 seconds I can place a fence. Every 30 seconds, meanwhile, Sia can.
Is it 30 seconds?
Yeah, it's 30 seconds to get one fence.
Oh my.
Meanwhile, Sia can do everything he does in 30 seconds.
Oh.
It's kind of
Yeah, so-
cooked. It's kind of cooked.
Watson used to be really good,
Yeah, she used to be the meta.
and now she sucks.
I think it's like something you
Watson-
said earlier. The more the game turned into ability legends, the more she was just pushed out of the meta.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially
I
with
think that's
crypto
probably
being
what
around and
happens.
played occasionally as well.
Crypto hard counters, Watson. Caustic is...
Caustic's just a better Watson, let's be real.
Watson's still good, though, because like the strength that Watson has really comes from her ults more than anything else. Like, her ult is always going to be something that
Oh, her ult's super strong with the passive heal plus the blocking of everything
can-
coming in.
you can turn any crappy rock that you're stuck behind into a playable cover. Like,
Just because
for
you can't get
example,
nade spammed outside of it.
that tournament where I like put us in that little compound thing that I thought was fine, that wasn't. We got Gibby ulted for days. If we had
What's
there-
not, we were completely fine there, 100%.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they wouldn't have LOS to break it.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
like there are times where Watson's really strong, but at the moment you don't need to play the game with a Watson. So the fact that the way that you have to play Watson to make it work would be kind of, like you said, as the game progresses and as the abilities become more prevalent, becomes more counterproductive to like how you could successfully play the game
Yeah, for
with
sure.
Watson. I think that she's probably like E tier at the moment. I
E
don't
tier?
even think that she's.
Okay. I'd put it there as well. I'd put it there as well for sure. She's
Yeah.
definitely.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't want to go. Too,
No,
I didn't
you're
wanna- I
fine.
didn't
She's
wanna go too
definitely down
hard.
there. She's definitely down there. Like, you know, the OG sweaty legend, Wraith, the OG meta legend as well. Where do we put her? Because she does still have good things. You know, she still has a portal. She still has a Q. They're really strong. But is she just getting outclassed by other legends these days?
Yeah. Wraith will always be, in my opinion, an S tier character. Just because for Final Zone, even though Final Zone is now not what it used to be.
Yeah,
it
with
used to
the
be
way they changed how it worked.
Yeah, close to like a 7th zone that was the size of a pinhole that like you'd have 5 teams.
You have all
just
the
struggling
portals,
for
everyone going back
zone
and through the
space.
portals with them. Yeah, yeah.
Whereas
But her
nowadays,
portal
much-
is
much
still
more
her
healthier
portal plus Q is still super strong for late game.
Yes. Her ability to reposition with portal is something that I think wins or loses games more often than it like doesn't. Like you could win a game or save yourself the game with a Wraith portal like a lot
yeah,
of the
for
time.
sure.
Whereas with other characters you'd probably just die. Like you try to Octane pad away
You just get
and
beamed
the
in
team
the
can
air.
just take your pad or they beam you in the air
Yeah,
or you
for
end
sure.
up getting one knocked and you're just dead. Whereas Wraith's whole kit, she feels really nice to play because she's low to the ground, she's small, she's combatively...
And she has
like,
a Kuno.
And she has a kunai, she can spin around, of course. Her Q, just having an ability in the game where you're invulnerable for 4 seconds Like, even though it takes a while to activate, there's too much utility in that for too many situations for me to like not keep Wraith in S tier.
100%. I just want to stress something. Most of you guys watching this video, please stop saying that Wraith Q is bad. You're just using Wraith Q wrong or incorrectly. You're not meant to use Wraith Q when you've taken a lot of damage. You're meant to use Wraith Q before you take the damage to reposition and get out of a bad spot. I just want to stress that a lot.
You tell him, Berno.
100%. No, but do you reckon she's S tier then, for sure? In your opinion?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would still have her probably in A tier at the moment, but you think she's S tier?
I think she's S tier because, like you said, with her Q, if you play around the way her Q works now, you can, like, you move the same. How do I word this? So with her Q now, you used to be able to Q in front of somebody's face
'Cause it was
and just
instant.
get it off and then run.
Yep.
But now you have to actually still play a little bit less risky, but you can play so much further away from your team
Because of the
as
extra
a Wraith
speed you
than
got given it.
because of the extra speed and the extra time that you're in her queue.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
move faster and you're in there for a second longer. So if you start to get pushed or if you start to draw somebody out of position to come towards you, you can draw them way further out than you used to be able to.
And that pulls them out of
So-
position and gives your teammates the ability to actually make a play off it as well, for sure.
Exactly. The amount of pressure that you can apply on other teams just being a Wraith behind a small bit of cover that they
I didn't
can't
even
push
think
you
of that.
out
That's a really good aspect of it. Yeah.
you can really like make teams uncomfortable and keep them pinned or stop them from taking space, and you can hold an angle that only Wraith can. Like even an Octane couldn't hold the angles that Wraith still can.
Yeah, no,
So-
100%.
Yeah, there's so much utility in Wraith's kit that I'd still keep her as S tier, even though she's been hit so heavily over the last couple of seasons.
No, it's really good. I didn't think of a lot of that. That's really good. Yeah, for sure. All right, well, that seems to be all the legends. Thank you so much for coming and talking and helping me, I guess, rank the legends. A lot of things I didn't think of there that you mentioned, which is awesome. So thank you so much for helping out, dude.
My pleasure, Berno.
I could live life all of my own.